Hello, and thank you for joining us for our St. Paul Teachers Retirement Fund Association member annual estimate and statement presentation. I'm Phil Tensick, the Director and CIO of SPTRFA. Today, I'm joined by our member benefits team, Nancy Langer, Katie Dezell, and Katie Prokop, as well as our plan admin, Tammy Zielinski, who will be running the slides for us today. Today's presentation will cover your member annual statement and your contribution statement. These were mailed to our members on October 21st and 22nd. For vested members, you would have received your member annual estimate, which provides a representation of what your future benefit would look like if you retire at your earliest eligibility through your normal retirement age. For members with less than 3 years of service with St. Paul Teachers, you'll receive a contribution statement, which shows the total contributions you've made to the plan. And if you were to leave before you're vested, you would receive your contributions back with interest. The slides, as well as this recording, are available on our website at sptrfa.org if you need to go back and review anything that we covered today. Now that you've received your statements, you may have a few questions. First, why did you get them? So we send these statements out annually to provide an update of your account. We also think it's one of the most important ways to understand the value of your benefit, to see what your future pension would be on a monthly basis, so you understand what the contributions you're making every paycheck will provide when you do retire. We know many people compare their estimates year after year, and they may see some changes year to year. That's because we use a number of estimates when we're projecting forward. And so if there's a difference between our expectations of what would have happened in a year and what actually happened, you'll see a change in your estimate. Generally, this is due to different earnings than presented or projected, or if there's different service time accrued during the year. If you notice that some of your information is incorrect on the statement, please contact us to update that. For beneficiary and marital changes, you can go to our website in the forms section. If you have combined service with another Minnesota Public Pension Plan, please email us info@sptrfa.org. And if you need to make a name and address change, you can do that through SPPS's PeopleSoft system, and that will automatically be transmitted during the next payroll, and we will make those updates automatically. If you have any questions about other post-retirement benefits, especially healthcare, you'll need to contact SPPS at benefits@spps.org to answer those questions. Our purview is limited to just the pension benefit in retirement. I want to highlight a couple of legislative changes that have happened in the past couple of years that affect your estimates. First, this year on July 1st, we did lower the normal retirement age for all members. So that went from age 66 to 65. So you now can receive an unreduced, or all members will receive an unreduced benefit 1 year earlier as a result of this. Additionally, in 2023, St. Paul teachers received a career rule. So those teachers that have 30 years of service, once they hit age 62, they can retire with an unreduced benefit. So that's 3 years earlier than the normal retirement age under this career rule. Additionally, employee contribution rates did increase as a result of these two benefit improvements. So the current contribution rate is 8.75%, and it'll be going to 9% on July 1st of 2026. And those increases are to pay for, or partially pay for, in addition to SPPS increases, the two earlier retirement options that I mentioned earlier. Now that we've covered some high-level things, we will turn it over to Katie, who will get us into some pension terms.
All right, thank you, Phil. So today and throughout your career, you will hear some common pension terms. So we briefly just want to pause and highlight just a few of those. Starting with a vested member. A vested member is a member who has earned at least 3 years of retirement service credit, guaranteeing them a lifetime benefit. Deferred pension is a delay of the start of benefit payments by a vested member who has terminated SPPS employment. Normal retirement age, the age at which a member becomes eligible for an unreduced SPTRFA retirement benefit. Early retirement, retirement before that normal retirement age, resulting in a lower monthly benefit amount. Early retirement reduction factor. This is the factor by which a pension benefit is reduced. This factor is based on how early a member begins their benefit. Final average salary. This is your highest 5 successive years of salary. SPPS retirement and SPTRFA retirement are two different things. SPPS retirement is a member who resigns from St. Paul Public Schools who is eligible for health benefits, and SPTRFA retirement is the commencement of a member's regular SPTRFA monthly benefit payment. Unreduced. An unreduced benefit means there is no actuarial reduction from a member's normal retirement age. A very popular question we are asked is, how is my benefit calculated? We take your final average salary, which again is your highest 5 successive years of salary, and for the member annual estimate, a 1% increase is used for salaries after fiscal year end 2025. We multiply that by your retirement service credit. This is based on your full-time equivalent worked in fiscal year end 2025. In order to receive a full year of service credit, you must work a minimum of 170 days. We then multiply that by your percentage multiplier. You will receive a 1.7% for any years worked through June 30th, 2015, and a 1.9% for any years worked through July 1st, 2015 to present. This will equal your unreduced benefit. If you retire prior to qualifying for an unreduced benefit, your benefit will receive an early retirement reduction. There are several ways to reach your unreduced benefit. And again, an unreduced benefit means there is no actuarial reduction. You can reach your normal retirement age, which is currently age 65, but in some cases for our deferred members may be age 66. You can reach 62 and 30, which means you are at least 62 years of age and have 30 years of retirement service credit. You can also reach this milestone by purchasing refunded service credit from SPTRFA, Minnesota TRA, PARA, or MSRS, or by purchasing out-of-state service, which is service from another public pension fund in another state. You can reach your rule of 90. Your age plus your service credit must equal 90 when added together. This is for Tier 1 members only who were hired prior to July 1, 1989. Now we'll go ahead and turn it over to Katie to review your statement.
Thanks, Katie. So this is the email that you would have received that includes either your annual estimate or your annual statement. It will come from the SPTRFA member outreach mailbox. And do keep in mind, if you're not seeing it in your inbox, it may have gone to your spam or your junk folder. So go ahead and check those if you're not seeing it. So now we're going to take a look at what is attached to the email. If you have less than 3 years of service with SPTRFA, you will receive an annual statement that looks like this. Even if you have combined service, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in today's presentation, you will receive a statement because you have less than 3 years with SPTRFA specifically. The main thing to note on the statement is the purple box at the bottom. This is showing what your contributions are to date, and this would be through June 30th of 2025. If you are a vested member with SPTRFA, meaning you have 3 years or more with us, you'll receive an annual estimate that looks like this. Please note that both your statement or estimate will have a beneficiary section. This section is very important, especially for those who are vested, because when we provide estimates to you, and if you are married, this is going to impact your choices that you would have. So make note of the beneficiary and make sure that everything is up to date. If you are married and you do not see a survivor or a beneficiary listed, that means we don't have one on file. We can send you a new form to designate a beneficiary. If you need to do so, the form looks like this. So please note on the form, you'll need to complete this, and it does need to be signed in front of a witness who is someone other than somebody listed on your beneficiary. There also is a spot to list a custodian if you are listing a minor as one of your beneficiaries. Now we're going to turn it over to Nancy.
Thank you, Katie. Coordinated Plan Member Estimate. You're receiving a member annual estimate because you have at least 3 years of retirement service credit and considered vested. General member information. your St. Paul Teachers Retirement Fund number. This is your SBTRFA number that helps us identify you as a member. First employed date. This is your first employment date in any covered Minnesota public pension plan. This date is essential for the eligibility for tier calculations. Earnings reported. This is your pensionable earnings reported to us by St. Paul Public Schools on a fiscal year basis. Contributions. This is the total employee contributions that you have contributed to SBTRFA. The contribution rate is mandated by the legislature and subject to change. Your St. Paul Teachers Retirement Fund Retirement Service Credit Coordinated Plan. This is your plan. This is for members who are first hired after July 1st, 1978. The basic plan. This is a closed plan as of June 30th, 1978, with no actively contributing members. Years of retirement service credit. Retirement service credit is calculated based on your full-time equivalency, your FTE, days worked in a school year or fiscal year. How is retirement service credit calculated? It is calculated by your days worked divided by 170. Currently, if you work 170 days or more in a fiscal year, you will receive 1 year of retirement service credit. And just note that your retirement service credit is capped at 1 year in a fiscal year. If your FTE is less than 100 or you work less than 170 days in a school year, your retirement service credit is prorated based on the days worked. For example, if you work 60 FTE, you will work 126 days, so you will receive retirement service credit would be calculated based on the 126 days worked divided by 170, and that would equal 0.75 year of retirement service credit. The contributions, current employee contribution rate for fiscal year 2025 is 8.75%. Do you retirement service credit with another Minnesota retirement fund? This is the retirement service that is included in Minnesota Teachers Retirement Association, TRA, Public Employees Retirement Association, PERA, and Minnesota State Retirement System, MSRS, that we are aware of as of June 30th of 2025. Combined Service Annuity, CSA, what is it? Service credit and other Minnesota public pension plan may help maximize your SBTRFA benefits, maximize your final salary, meet vesting requirements, and reach your retirement target date. Under CSA, all Minnesota public pension plans will work together so all of your public retirement service credit can be used for better eligibility during your career. If you change jobs in the public sector and your pension coverage switches to a different public pension plan, your contributions and retirement service credit are not transferred into a new pension plan. They stay in the pension plan where the contributions and retirement service credit were earned. To qualify for a CSA benefit, you must meet the following. Service credit, you must have at least half a year or 0.6 in each plan. Service credit that meets vesting requirements also in that retirement fund. What are the advantages? While each public pension plan uses its own formula to calculate your pension benefit, all plans use the same final ever salary from the highest 5 successive years, no matter where or when it was earned. If you retirement service credit with another plan, you might receive a higher benefit overall with all pension plans because of your combined service credit and your earnings. It is important to note that at retirement, you must submit application and documents to each pension plan. In return, you'll receive a pension payment based on the retirement service credit that you have with each plan. Your estimated monthly retirement benefits. The assumptions on the projections include you continue to work with the year age listed with no deferral, resign your position with St. Paul Public Schools on June 30th, and begin retirement benefits on July 1st. The last 5 years of earnings are with your final salary with a 1% salary increase. You work at least the same FTE in the prior fiscal year. Members will receive the estimate after they have at least 3 years of retirement service credit with the beginning minimum age of 55. Rule of 90, 62 and 30, and normal retirement age have been factored in this estimate. And we're assuming that there is no changes in pension law that affect pension calculations. Please note, if you terminate your employment with St. Paul Public Schools and defer receipt of your retirement benefit to a future date, this estimate will not be accurate. You can contact us for a date-specific deferred pension estimate. The chart here shows the St. Paul Teachers Retirement Fund estimated lifetime benefit for the amounts for July 1st. These are for members who are not yet 55. You'll see your first year age at 55. For members who are age 55 or over, you'll see your first year listed as 2026. If your marital status is single, you are eligible for C1 through C3 benefit options. For those who are married, you are eligible for the same C1 through C3 options, along with the C4 and C5 joint and spousal survivor options. For those members who were first hired before July 1st, 1989, only Tier 2 calculation applies. This applies to the vast majority of the SB TRFA members. Just a note, MS tiers should not be confused with tiers related to SPPS jobs or employment contracts. Tier 1 and Tier 2. For those members who were first hired prior to July 1st, 1989, you'll see Tier 1 and Tier 2 calculations. At retirement, your benefit will be the higher benefit payable. Here is the member annual statement for those members who were first hired before July 1st, 1989, who are eligible for both the Tier 1 and Tier 2 benefit calculations. This allows you to receive the larger of the benefits, the amounts listed for Tier 1 and Tier 2. Now I'll turn it over to Katie.
All right, thank you, Nancy. One of your most important choices is your retirement option. We offer 5 lifetime benefit options, and each option provides a different level of protection for your beneficiary or survivor. The amount of your monthly benefit will depend on the option you choose at the time you make your application to begin your SBTRFA benefits. Please remember to choose carefully, as the option that you select is irrevocable once you begin your benefit payments. For those members who are single, you have 3 options available to you: the C1, C2, and C3. For those members who are legally married, you have 5 options available to you: C1 through C5. And now we'll go ahead and go through each one. C1, member life only option. This is the highest benefit amount. There is no coverage for a beneficiary. All other options are reduced to potentially provide to beneficiaries or a survivor. C2, guaranteed refund option. If you pass away before you've recovered all your employee contributions, your beneficiary will receive the balance of your employee contributions in a lump sum payment. We have found that most recover their employee contribution within 3 to 4 years from retirement. For example, your employee contributions total $50,000 and you pass away after receiving $23,000 in benefits. The remaining balance of the employee contributions is $27,000, and that would be paid in a lump sum payment to your beneficiary. If you have no beneficiary, your estate will receive the lump sum payment. Now take a look and compare your C1 and your C2 options on your statement. You will notice that the benefit amounts are very close. You will only take a very slight decrease in benefit to ensure any remaining contributions go to your beneficiary. C3, 15-year certain option. If you pass away within 15 years of receiving pension payments, your beneficiary will receive your monthly payment for the remainder of the 15 years. For example, if you pass away 5 years into retirement, we will pay your beneficiary for the next 10 years, and then the payments will end. If you have no beneficiary, your estate will receive a lump sum payment. C4 and C5 joint and spousal survivor options. Both options are available if you are legally married. C4, 100% joint and spousal survivor option. Upon your death, your spouse will receive 100% of your benefit for their lifetime. C5, 50% joint and spousal survivor option. Upon your death, your spouse will receive 50% of your benefit for their lifetime. If your spouse passes away before you, your benefit will automatically bounce back to the C1 member life only option for your lifetime. You no longer need to have this monthly reduction to provide a possible survivor benefit since your spouse has passed away. If you are married and you do not see a C4 and C5 on your statement, this means we do not have your spouse's information on file. Please contact us to update your information. The next slide has information we just discussed and will be available to view on our website. I will now go ahead and pass it back to Katie for our summary.
Thanks, Katie. So this is your to-do list. First thing, review your SPTRFA annual estimate information and make sure everything is correct and up to date. If you do not see that it is correct or up to date, you can complete and submit a beneficiary form of designation for your beneficiary. You can contact us at info@SPTRFA and we will send you a beneficiary form. Also verify that you have your service listed with any other Minnesota public pension. If you do not see that you have that service listed in your estimate, that means that we don't have it on file. So contact us just to let us know so we can verify that information. And then lastly, you'll just want to plan for your retirement. Weigh the option of an early retirement by having a smaller benefit for the rest of your life against working longer to receive a larger lifetime benefit. You also have the option to defer. The next slide will talk about that a little bit more. As mentioned earlier, you can terminate employment and wait to collect until a later date. Deferred pension means that you are not collecting right after you stop employment. The deferred pension option are for those members who are vested and have at least 3 years of allowable service credit. You can begin your pension no earlier than age 55. You must be separated from SPPS, and you may qualify for meeting age requirements such as Rule of 90, 62 and 30, or normal retirement age for your unreduced pension. If you begin drawing your benefits before qualifying for one of these milestones, you will have an early reduction factor applied. Deferred benefits are effective on the first eligible pension date after receipt of your SPTRFA retirement application and the required documents. We do have a visual to explain deferred pensions, and Phil is going to talk about that.
Thanks, Katie. We get lots of questions about the impact of deferring versus continuing to work, so I wanted to provide a bit of a real-world example here on this chart for you. So throughout this presentation, we've shown your estimate, assuming that you would continue to work until the date that you start your retirement. So that's shown with the red line on this chart. So basically, at age 55 would be the first time you're eligible. This member would receive $2,256 per month for the rest of their life. If they were to work one more year to 56, that would go up to $2,585. And that's due to them gaining one additional year of service, generally at a higher salary. It also is because they eliminate an early retirement factor for 1 year. As we mentioned before, if you retire before an unreduced benefit, there are early retirement factors. So each year that you work, you do grow your benefit by increasing service and decreasing that retirement factor. For this member, they would reach an unreduced benefit at age 62 because they have 30 years of service at that point. And that's where you see a significant jump in their monthly payment from $5,067 to $6,705. And that's because they reduce all retirement factors once they hit that unreduced benefit level. However, in the real world, you don't just have to choose whether you want to work an additional year or retire at the end of a school year. You also have the option to defer your retirement. So that would mean that you retire or resign from SPPS and stop working in the classroom, but you don't start drawing down your pension benefit. So by deferring, you still see your pension grow. You're not gaining any service in this case because you're not teaching, but you're still going to reduce your early retirement factors for each year that you defer. So that's where you see for this member from age 55, deferring to that unreduced benefit at age 62, they would more than double their pension from the $2,256 a month to the $4,941 per month. It's worth noting that a deferral does not grow once you've hit an unreduced tier. And so in this case, the member's benefit doesn't grow beyond the $4,941 when they hit their unreduced benefit. If you're not eligible for the age 62 and 30 rule, all members have the normal retirement age of 65, that they'd be able to receive that unreduced benefit. And again, it's not worth deferring beyond once you hit an unreduced benefit. So we do encourage you to draw your benefit once you do hit that unreduced level. With that, I can turn it over to Nancy to talk about major life changes.
Thank you, Phil. Future life-changing events. Death prior to retirement. What happens if you should pass away prior to retirement? Your surviving spouse, if married, is entitled to take a refund of your contributions plus interest. Or another option would be to take a 5, 10, 15, 20-year, or lifetime survivor benefit. Your dependent children under age 20, if no spouse, will be entitled to a dependent children's benefit depending on their ages at the time of your passing. Beneficiary, if there's no surviving spouse or dependent children, a refund of your contributions plus interest would be paid to whoever you listed as your beneficiary. If there is none listed in your member record, a refund would be paid to your estate. Divorce. This life-changing event will remove your ex-spouse for eligibility for survivor benefits. We will need the following documents prior to a refund or pension payment: a certified copy of your final decree, a DRO if there is any division in your SPTRFA pension. And just a note, if you're going through divorce, we could provide you with draft language that may be helpful if you're going through the process of divorce. Meet with us. You can schedule a virtual or in-person counseling appointment with one of our member benefit counselors. Appointments are available Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. The counseling sessions are around 30 minutes long. To request a counseling session or benefit estimate, you can contact our office by email at info@sptrfa.org or online at our website, www.sptrfa.org. Just a note that you will need to provide a time and a date that works for your schedule, and we will confirm by email. At your counseling session, we'll go through your specific pension date. This will include going through your retirement checklist, lifetime options, retirement estimate summary, how to complete the application, and documents required before pension payment processing. We will also answer any questions you have regarding your pension. Now I'll turn it over to Phil.
I'd like to thank everyone for viewing our member annual estimate and contribution state presentation. If you have any further questions, please do contact us, info@sptrfa.org, or on our website, sptrfa.org. Please give us a call, 651-642-2550, or feel free to stop by our office at 2550 University, same building that Egg and I is in, if you're wondering where that is. So thanks for attending, and look forward to any follow-up questions. Thanks. Bye.